Hey everybody, welcome back to Steve's Garage. You know me, I'm Steve, and we got old Earl on site today doing his thing. It's been a while, haven't been back since before Thanksgiving. Been doing a bunch of running around and all kinds of odds and ends chores here in New England. We have a lot of stuff to do for the end of season, a lot of yard cleanup, and we had a huge windstorm the other day. And we have a lot of white pine trees here, and the pine cones are about that long, and had to be 1,000 of them in the yard. So I got about 940 of them. There's still 60 left. But anyway, cleaning up, getting a lot of stuff done. But have the car all cleaned up. Been working on a few things. I want to show you what's going on. It's cold here in New England. It was 22 degrees this morning, and needless to say, we're heating now, you know. So the shop is heated. I keep it about 58 degrees at night and warm it up to about 63 or 4 during the day, which is very comfortable. So, been a while since I've been working on the car. Just, you know, thinking about 100 different things that I want to do to it. And we're at the point of a lot of detail stuff. And a lot of these details, you know, you think about them all the time. But there's a point of no return, because some things I want to do require drilling holes in the body, and once you drill through the paint, you're done. So you better like them before you're done. So once you commit, that's it. You can't quit. So let's take a look. I want to show you what's going on. I put some of the woodwork on. I've got the battery box in the back we're working on. All kinds of different parts on the table I'll show you and go over where we're heading with this thing. And we have the foot steps, or whatever you want to call them, on the running boards, which side steps, which they protect the paint, and hopefully when passenger gets out, they step on them and not on the paint. So without any further ado, let's take a look at what's going on, and we'll show you. Glad everyone came back, and you know, thank you. We're up to 570 subscribers. Isn't a ton, but it's a lot for me. We just started this channel not that long ago, this year, and a lot of great comments on the car, how it's coming. And I want to show you, I did get some emblems for the front. I put a short on that. I call the car the Viking because of my Norwegian heritage, and it's kind of a little in honor of my father and our family. And so this is the Viking. And that's it. So please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. If you're watching this, subscribe. We want to try to get up over 1,000, you know, so we can keep the channel moving. So anyway, thank you very much, and let's get moving. So here we are. I've got the seats in it, and you know, wanted to show you what it's going to look like with the seats. I'm going to do a tan upholstery. Not upholstery, but you know, I guess it's upholstery. It's what's going to stick on, you know, to the sides. I have all wooden panels for all in here, and so that's going to be tan. And I'm going to do either a tan or a black carpet. I may go with black on the carpet, and to try to match our woodwork. This is walnut, which I've still am working on. I've got just, you know, these two little side pieces, one on each side, to sand, fit in, and then this dash has to be trimmed right here on both sides to lower it down to get in, because these are my screw holes up here. So this dash will be inset and into these screw holes, and it does fit under there, but not with this piece of wood. And again, these pieces are screwed in place, and the back pieces are in and screwed in place. And this side here, just so you know, if you can see that, I don't know if you can count, but there's 8 pieces here. And what I did was I ripped the walnut down, and then I clamped it in place under here while it dried, and then shaped it in afterwards. So it's all custom made. Everything's handmade. I did put the emblem on the side. I found this company that makes these, and this is metal. This is gold plated. It's steel. It sticks on, so it's not plastic. I didn't want cheesy. I wanted something that's really nice, and that's steel, and I couldn't be happier with it. I found this company through Amazon, and they made that, and it was pretty reasonable. I think it was only like $26 a side or something like that. So it's this company, Dizzy, and Dizzy. That's it. So they made that. I got it in just a couple weeks' time, and that's it. So I have put the car together. I've got my front bumper on. I've got everything bolted in place and tightened up. I now have this radiator cap in place, so that's ready to go. This is a non-pressurized system, anybody who knows the Model A's. So that's that. So headlights are in position. I did put these wires. This is a wire harness. These are brand new steel harness to replace the other ones. There's a 6-volt bulb in here, so I've got to change the sockets out to 12 volt. And those of you who know the difference between 6 and 12 volt lights, the 6 volt have the post right dead even on each side, and the 12 volt are one's up and higher and one's lower. And those are typically the 1157 bulbs that you have in all your 50s, 60s, 70s cars. So yeah, woodwork in place on this side, and I put the seats in so you can see what this would look like with seats in it, and couldn't be happier. Coming along good. Just trying to get things done, slow but sure. And in the back here, this is where my battery is going to go, because we are turning this car to a 12 volt system. I don't know if I can do this with one hand free. There you go. So this is where the battery box is, and I've got 2 bolts in the back here. I'm going to bolt that in the front, and my battery will just slide right down inside there. We'll have our negative on this side here, and the negative I can tie right down into this piece of 1x1 steel, because this is welded right to the frame. So that will be my ground around the whole system, and then the positive wire will run down through. And I've got my rubber gussets. This is important, guys. When you're running wires through metal, you have these rubber gussets where you can just, put a couple slices in and run your wires right through. It'll protect them from vibration, from chafing. And of course, you know what happens after that. Then they will short out on you. So another thing to discuss quickly is I have this 1930 Model A, and I've been trying to fit in it because old Henry, he was not kind to the big guys. Now I know Henry Ford, as I looked it up, Henry Ford was 5 foot 10 inches tall. And every time I talk about these Model A's to the old guys in the clubs and stuff, they go, well, everybody was short back then. That's why Henry Ford made these cars the way he did. And I calling bullshit on that, because it's like, I think guys were big. There had to be big farm boys back then, and, had to be tall people. I just don't get how everyone gets off saying, it's only, everyone was shorter back in 1929 or 1930. This is a 1930 car. But I'm checking the placement on the camera here. So I want to show you something. So what I did was, this seat here comes out, and in the back here, if you can see, I'm going to again check the camera. That's what sucks about not having someone to help you with the camera work, because you're always running around trying to do your own stuff here. So I'm going to zoom in on it. Let's see that bracket right there. There's a bracket there, okay? And what I did was, in the Ford manual, if you own a Model A Ford, you should have one of these, all right? This goes through and shows you everything. You know, they have pictures and, you know, diagrams, and it tells you everything about the Model A Ford. So I've looked up, you know, how to move your seat, and I've actually got that page fold over in the back here, and it shows you how to adjust your seat. So there's not many options. So this bracket that I pointed out was turned around and facing forward, which brought this seat forward about 3 inches. So what I did is I took the bracket off, moved it all the way back, and I've got about 4.5 inches further back. Now what you got to know is I'm 6 foot 4 inches tall. All right, so I'm 6 inches taller than Henry Ford. Now I can't even get in this car. So when you look here, and here's another thing. Right here where the seat is, it's 7.5 inches. That's 7.5 inches right there. This whole door is 22 inches wide. So when you're trying to get into this thing, I can't even get my shoes in between here. I have a size 15 foot, so yeah, I'm burdened with it being a big, and it sucks. Believe me, it was never handy in my life. But you can't get in the goddamn car. So Henry Ford, at 5 foot 10 inches tall, he must have gotten these and still, you know, scratched his head and said, "Ah, screw it, good enough." But believe me, they are tight, 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 and it's a horrible setup. And then, of course, this is all, you know, built right into the body, so you can't move any of that without doing major reconstruction. And so what I did was I pulled the seat out, and I cut this piece of plywood here, put this in, 2-inch cushion or 3-inch cushion just for the hell of it, and I can now sit in it and shift it. Because when I sit on this seat here, you know, the one that comes with it, I lift my knees up to shift, and my knee is hitting the shifter and the steering wheel. So horrible design, the Model A, as far as I'm concerned. Great car, don't get me wrong, and I love the looks of them. But I'm threatening to cut this car right in half and add 12 inches to it. And then the door, you know, add that 12 inches into the door, add that 12 inches right across. So if I'm cutting the thing here, I'd have to have the running board and do it right under where the step is, the side step, and make this car 12 inches longer. So I'd have a Model A, instead of I think they're 112 inch wheelbase, would have a 122 inch wheelbase. And don't think I won't do it, because I'm thinking about it. So I'm sure the purists will be like, "Don't cut it up." But you know what? If you can't fit in it, what the hell fun is it? So I can fit in it now, but barely. It's a pain in the ass. So there you have it. That's my Model A rant for the day. Now, so today I want to put these running board steps on. I've charged my batteries. So anyway, we had Thanksgiving and had a great time. Had lots of bird, and that was that. Now I want to see how far this is. 7.5 back. 8, good. I have structure under here, which I have to make sure I miss where these screws are going in. So this is even here where my lines are. So I'm going to drill one in, put the bolt in, and then, and this is the point of no return. This is the point where you're drilling through finished product and there's no going back. I've got my screws and nuts here. Double check your numbers. And do them one at a time, because if you get the thing is off, if it moves at all, put your screws in as you go, because if it moves at all, you're going to have your holes will be oblong or out of sync. And don't rub your metal shavings with your hand, because it'll scratch it. So I'm going to take an air afterwards and blow those all off. You do not want to do that by hand. This one I have a piece of steel that's for attaching all this, so I've got to grind that back a little bit under there so the nut will fit, and I'll have to do that afterwards. So let's go to the other side. And that was 1 3/4. All right, now we're set up on the opposite side. I've got these 2 lines to go by here. Just gonna eyeball that. 7 3/4 again. Check the depth there. Almost 8. We'll cut in this first hole. Money, dude. What the hell's that? How does it fit? I got one small one from the store. What happens in those bins, they get mixed up sometimes. I got one small one, I'll have to get another one. So I'm going to have to make a run to the hardware store at some point and get that one. There's barely any difference with these from side to side, but that one's definitely smaller, so it is what it is. Go back and get another screw at some point. So, as I was saying, take some air. So take some air and you have to be conscious every time you do something not to rub that paint because of the obvious. So you don't want to scratch it up because that would be a sin, and we don't like the sin. There's this side. All right, so as we can see, How nice these are looking here. All screwed in, stainless steel screws, by the way. I don't want things rusting. And again, blew off those metal chips, so you know, we're not scratching it up. Now, I'm going to take the hood off. I'll show you what's going on here. Earl, take the hood off. That damn Earl, he doesn't do much around here. All right. So, since the last time we have gotten together, I did put on the alternator, and we're going to run this as a 12-volt system. My steering, I rebuilt, but I still had a little leak coming out right in here. There's an O-ring with a steel plate behind it on this side, which I didn't put in when I rebuilt it. And of course it was just a little tiny leak coming through there. So I said, screw it, take it apart and do it again. And nothing sucks more than taking things apart. So, but you have to bite the bullet and do it right. So why I didn't put it in the first place, I don't know. So that's it. This front cowl is now all bolted in place. Nice. And that's it. So we've got 12-volt alternator. The battery will be in the back here. We're going to positive or a negative ground now, 12-volt. And then over here I've got all these parts. And this is my work ahead of me. All these things got to go in. There's a dash starter button there, as it says. There's a fuse link next to it here. This is the on-off key switch. It's my amp meter in here. This is a fuse break to go on the starter. Here's my alternator wiring, my 8-gauge wire. And then in the battery, I have a guillotine switch, which these things are awesome. They're very simple. Bolt onto your positive side here. Put your positive here to your car, and then when you're done for the day, you just open that up and it takes all the power out away from the car. So it just breaks power, and it's just a safety precaution because something goes wrong with the wiring down the road or who knows what. But it also, when the cars sit over the winter, which we leave them out for the winter, or you know, we're not riding in the winter time here because of snow, the battery stays charged. So there's no load on it of any sort, you know. And this is my positive ground, my positive cable, my negative cable. The positive cable is very long because it's going to go from the back of the car all the way to the front to the starter solenoid. And then I've got a new distributor cap and rotor, and that's about it. So bunch of things to do, you know, the gas setup, my sediment bowl, and which has a filter in it, which is great. And that's it. So we're moving forward. Got some Christmas lights up. How's that? Huh? Got it all fancy. And that's it. So we're moving forward. Thanks for coming back, everybody. Again, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends, call up Henry Ford and tell him his cars are too small for us big guys, makes it no fun. So we may be cutting this thing in half and making it a foot longer. And believe me, we can do it. So that's it for today. Everybody have a great day. Say hi to your friends and family. Pet your dogs, pet your cats, feed your gerbil. And have a good one, man. We'll see you soon. Thanks a lot. Happy holidays.